Alright, I'm going to be going over how to install new pieces to help eliminate the problem with the Sam Labs motors. So you can see we got one here that's pretty loose. And what we'll do is, first thing you'll need to do is print your new parts. So we have this part here, which is going to be the captive nut holder on the bottom, and the new cover for our motor, gearbox cover. So once you've these 3D printed both of these parts, you also need two 2mm by 8 metric bolts and 2mm nuts. Hard to see there. There we go. Those guys. So first thing we'll do is we'll take the rubber piece off the bottom of our Sam Labs motor. Okay. And what you'll need to do is actually cut the plastic away on here. So we'll get some snips like these guys. I also have some smaller ones here. These ones work too. But you will need to be cutting the old bolt off of here. The bigger ones work better. So what I'll do is just kind of cut the plastic away here on the sides. We're not going to need that because we've printed new ones to replace them. Okay. Sometimes these little guys work good for getting that last little bit off. There we go. So we're going to remove those plastic pieces. Alright. And what you'll do is be able to pull the motor away now. And you're still going to have the two bolts here that you'll have to get rid of. And what you'll want to do is kind of get them down nice and low there so they're away from the board. And we're going to use our snips. And what we're going to do is just going to cut that bolt so that it can now fall out. So you can see. And we want it to fall at the bottom. There we go. We got that bolt off. We'll do the same thing for the other one. And you'll want to be careful not to cut your wires, otherwise you'll have to resolder them, which we're trying to avoid having to do any soldering here with this replacement. We're going to cut that bolt, and there we go. So now we've got the screws and the bolts are cut off. We have left now, we have a bare board, two clean holes, and the motor. Now on your new piece, if you'll notice on the inside, I don't know if you can see it on the screen there, that one part of this is going to have a little raised piece here, and that's the front part. And we're going to put that part on the front, like so, and that's going to sit there just like the original one did. Now on the other piece, we're going to put in our 2mm nuts, and they're going to sit into those recessions on there. So it's going to look like that. Put our screw through the first hole. And you're going to want to put this with the nut facing upward. Okay. And you'll need your 1.5mm Allen. And you're just going to tighten it down. And what you want to do is you want that screw to go all the way through the bottom part of the 3D printed piece. And the reason you want that is it works as a nylock. So your 3D printed part will actually help hold that screw in place. And what it just did here is it actually didn't thread through it, pushed the nut out. So if it does that, you'll just want to loosen it up a little and get your nut seated back in there, and just put some more pressure on it when you tighten it. There we go. And what you'll want is you want to see it's, I don't know if you can see there, but you can see the screw sticking through the bottom and the nut is still inside the plastic, the 3D printed part. And just do the same thing on the other side. So get it lined up. And we'll push that through that hole there. And Run our Allen through, and you want to put some pressure on it again just so that it goes through the 3D printed part. Just kind of cinch both sides down nice and tight. Okay, so once you're done here, now you're going to have the new top. You'll have your new bar on the bottom here. Now the benefit of this is a couple things. First, you get the benefit of the 3D printed part working as a nylock, to a sense, to help hold the screw loose. The other thing is if this does come loose, all you have to do is tighten it. Just tighten it back up. You shouldn't have to get in there and tear it apart and do all this again. So once you've got that, you can put your silicone back on, and you should have a nice replaced part. And I would check to make sure if you get this a little too tight or warped, you can also mess up the gears, but this one sounds fine. So, and there you have it, new replacement part. Hopefully shouldn't come loose, but if it does, very easy to tighten back up.